You see the human impact of every delay. How does your vision for contract intelligence fit into the bigger picture of home and community care?
We were responsible for thousands and thousands of contracts that weren't highly organized, difficult to manage, and they ranged in complexity. So what we recognized was that there was a need and a desire for us to streamline our contracts management process.
How does baioniq for contracts help you with accelerating and handling the sheer volume of contracts that you do?
What we have noticed is that using baioniq and using AI has really helped us to create contract summaries, for example, sharing and searching for contracts that were hard to find, verifying red lines.
Now we're on the path of making sure that paperwork never gets in the way of the patient.
Welcome to Phi Moments, a podcast by Quantiphi.
Welcome to the Phi Moments Podcast, the flagship podcast of uncovering AI breakthroughs, cutting-edge innovation, and pioneering research transforming enterprises. Available now on all your favorite podcast platforms, Phi Moments brings you real-world stories from leaders shaping the future of AI. Now let's dive straight into today's topic. We're talking about more than just software. Today we're talking about the backbone of healthcare and home and community care delivery. Joining us today is Farah Ismail, Senior VP, Chief Legal Privacy Compliance Officer at SE Health. Thank you for joining us, Farah.
Thanks for having me.
So, Farah, you lead a team that is essentially the guardian of the organization, and you're doing it amidst a sea of paperwork. Could you tell us a little bit about the work that your team does at SE Health, and how does your vision for contract intelligence fit into the bigger picture of home and community care?
Okay, well, SE Health has been around for about 118 years, and we have expertise providing high-quality care and health and wellness solutions across communities in Canada. And we are looking to actively shape what's next. So as a result of that, our Legal Privacy and Compliance Department was established about 2 years ago. And at that time, we had never had an in-house legal team. So it was very, very new. And what we did was we identified that one of the major functions was contracts. Mm-hmm. We were responsible for thousands and thousands of contracts that weren't highly organized, difficult to manage, and they ranged in complexity. So what we recognized was that there was a need and a desire for us to streamline our contracts management process. What that will do for us is really enable our legal department to focus on things that are more critical, such as strategic thinking and innovation. Mm-hmm. And so our vision was to determine a path forward that would help us simplify the high workload that we had.
Got it. So there's a lot of history there. You said like 118 years of SE Health. And when it comes to your team, especially when it comes to the legal and compliance work that your team does, how does baioniq for contracts and other such AI tools help you with accelerating and handling the sheer volume of contracts that you do? How does it help you with synthesizing or even contract redlining, etc.?
Yeah, maybe I'll just step back a little. And what I'd share is that when we embarked on the journey of AI at SE Health, what we did was really look at it as more of a cultural shift rather than a standalone initiative. Mm-hmm. And so what we did was we created a multifunctional approach that involved our digital teams, our innovation team, as well as our legal privacy and compliance functions. And so together we're exploring new AI solutions while ensuring alignment with all of the requirements that we have. And what we're really trying to do here is use AI to improve our efficiencies, but not take away from the human-centered care that we deliver. And so for our function under the Legal Privacy and Compliance Department, we have had multiple different contract workflows thousands and thousands of tasks that are executed and delivered manually. And so our real goal was to simplify what was taking us a very long time to do historically. And by implementing baioniq and AI, what we've been able to do is really take a look at our former approach and streamline the manual work effort that we had been embarking on. And so some of the things that have been optimized are our use of creating contract summaries, searching for contract documents, version control, reporting on terms and conditions, verifying red lines, and uploading information to the necessary portals or for our stakeholders. Their accessibility has been far improved through this pilot. So we've seen that we've really gained efficiencies for drafting and management, and we're spending less time on the management piece now, and we're focusing more on supporting our operational teams and advising them on risk and strategy.
That brings up a really interesting point, Farah. I think, like you mentioned, SE Health works across Canada, across the various provinces. And when you're dealing with these contracts, do you end up coming across a problem where vendor agreements in one province, create some sort of a compliance gap in another? And is that a problem that you really have to sort of solve for? Essentially, what I'm getting at is, what are the real keep you up at night problems that you're solving right now using AI?
Well, I think first and foremost is that our current contract workflows are all manual. Mm-hmm. The tasks are executed on and delivered in a manual format, mm-hmm. which means that there's a very, very high workload. Mm-hmm. So when we did launch our department about 2 years ago, mm-hmm. One of the aims was to use our legal professionals in a way that was meaningful. Mm-hmm. And so implementing a contracts life management system was critical to that delivery. So what we have noticed is that using baioniq and using AI has really helped us to create contract summaries, for example, sharing and searching for contracts that were hard to find, verifying red lines, uploading, current state contracts and knowing version control, and then really servicing our internal stakeholders more effectively because our contracts are readily available at their fingertips. And so by introducing AI, what we've really done is we've achieved significant gains, including efficient drafting and the management of those onerous workflows. And instead of spending time just managing documents, we now focus on supporting our operational teams more effectively, advising our leadership teams on risk and strategy.
That's really interesting. It's fascinating. The depth of that work is really fascinating. So if today you had a magic wand, mm-hmm.
And
you'd want to make one thing true in legal and compliance, what would it be using the tool set of AI? Like what is it that you would want to make true using this AI magic wand?
Well, I think seamless contracts flow with very minimal effort and enabling our department, again, to focus on speed without compromising accuracy, manage risk more effectively, reduce our reliance on external resources when unnecessary, and really allowing that focus on innovation and strategy and support for the organization to move our path forward.
Got it. And that sounds to me like something that you're already on the way of doing then, Farah, in that case, right? Like, because everything that we've been talking about so far seems like you're on that path.
Well, I think too, in Canada, we're dealing with complex and constantly evolving healthcare landscape. Mm-hmm. We have at SE Health many different funder relationships. Mm-hmm. We've got different contractual requirements, mm-hmm. privacy requirements, different obligations, and we have sector-specific standards, mm-hmm. which are, require a high level of detailed responsibility. Mm-hmm. And so using AI to really centralize and structure our approach has been incredibly helpful.
Got it. Got it. So let me ask you this, Farah, you're a nurse, lawyer, and a C-suite executive. First and foremost, I don't know how you do it, but you see the human impact of every delay. What was the aha moment, if I were to ask you? What was that aha moment in time when you saw that AI could actually help you without your team needing to become like technical experts and like prompt engineers and things like that? So what was that particular moment for you?
I think what I did see is that a significant majority of our contracts actually contain structured data, and it's disguised within a structured document. And so one of the really big things we did right when we established ourselves, where we looked for those contract templates that we were using most frequently, and we refined them. And so as we embarked on this journey with you guys, what was easy about it was that we had these templates that we have been using. We've been able to trial them, test them, validate them before we actually implemented this AI solution. And so it's really helped us to function more strategically. And we're now able to analyze several contracts at once, for example, identify deviations, and then promptly provide suggested edits and refinement.
That's amazing. And it has been an amazing journey working with your team, especially because it took them really little time to actually get started and adopt AI and start using AI to actually improve workflows. And now we're on the path of making sure that paperwork never gets in the way of the patient. Especially using baioniq for contracts, they could, process these contracts faster. So what is it that you did so differently with your team that made it so efficient? That I'm sure others would also want to hear about it, but that was really fascinating for us. So what did you do differently with your team in that scenario?
So, as I've mentioned before, SC Health is going through a significant digital transformation, and the contracts lifecycle management project was slated for a later phase. When the opportunity to leverage AI, was brought forward, I thought that our department was well positioned. We established ourselves about 2 years ago, and during our work up to developing our structure and our focus, what we recognized is that there were several different templates floating around. And so one of the key responsibilities for our group was really to look at the templates we're using most frequently, streamline the design and development of those templates, and get ready to be prepared for this CLM project that was coming before us. And so when this AI opportunity came forward, I think we were already ready to go. And it just made sense. And I think what you experienced working with us was that we had all that content already established and developed, which made the pilot project go smoothly.
That's awesome. All right. So I think that's a perfect note to end on. We've talked a little bit about how we're transforming the paperwork into a pillar of patient care. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for joining us, Farah. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. It's been a privilege to talk to you about this particular problem and how you're using AI to solve for multiple use cases in healthcare and home care, and especially in the legal and compliance space. So thank you for tuning in. And a big thank you to Farah for joining us on the Phi Moments podcast and sharing such incredible insights. We hope you enjoyed the conversation, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Thanks for tuning in. To learn more about how we're helping enterprises transform with AI-first solutions, subscribe to Phi Moments on your go-to podcast channels or visit quantiphi.com.